there more of them?
Don't worry, it's over.
Fuka, you... Are you alright? Yeah. Thank goodness. Fuka?
Another day, another full moon, and another operation. Hey, we're back at the top again today with ICBA Season 5, Week 4. And lo and behold, it's Week 4. We've never won a Week 4 game in Draft League format history. Will today's be any different? Well, it depends. What is the operation? What are we going to see from Aaron and the Calgary Infernapes? Let's go into the operation briefing.
Any luck, Fuka?
Just a moment. I found it. I sense a strong presence.
Hey, we were right.
Or so it would seem.
It's located in Iwatodai, inside a building on Shirakawa Boulevard.
Shirakawa Boulevard. They've been finding the lost in pairs lately. Now I understand why.
In pairs? Huh. Oh, I get it.
Why? What's on Shirakawa Boulevard? I'm not familiar with that area. I've heard about it, but...
That's where all those hotels are. That explains a lot. You've heard about them, right, Fuka? Where people go to... you know.
Nonsense. They're no different than ordinary hotels. The rooms are a bit fancier, that's all.
Oh, man. That's it?
I don't know about this. Maybe I shouldn't go.
You're just like a little kid, Yucatan.
Whatever. Fine, let's go. So, who's gonna take the lead? I don't see any reason to change leaders now. And Yamagishi, I want you to handle support during the operation.
I'll do my best.
Alright, then I'll let you decide on the rest of the team. Let's do this.
So we have to pick the team that we will be taking to Shirakawa Boulevard to see who we will be facing. And that's actually right here, because we see Mega Lopunny, Entei, Nidoqueen, Magearna, Honchkrow, and Primarina. As we are bringing Zeraora, Tapu Fini, Arcanine, Serena, Mega Beedrill, and Stunfisk? Yes, Stunfisk. Today I decided to bring Stunfisk. In fact, you're also wondering why it's on the other side and this doesn't look like my footage. Well, that's because this is not my footage, because I thought it'd be fun to do it a different way. Not really, there's just a long story behind that, but long story short, this is how the team works. I believe we have an anti-Nidoqueen lead for Zeraora. I think we're running Max Defense, Rocky Helmet, Arcanine. We just have the basic Mega Beedrill with speed creeping, of course. We have Serena. I can't remember what I'm running on Serena. I think it was an Assault Vest. And then we have... what do we have on you? I think we have Calm Minding. Yes, we have Calm Mind Tapu Fini, and that's one of my win conditions here. But also, what Castor here, making his season debut, Castor the Stunfisk, is to deal with Magearna, right? Because if I can stay in against Magearna and hold my own, that I can just completely avoid it. And that would be absolutely great. So right now, we're going to go ahead and go over the leads. I'm predicting him to lead off with the Nidoqueen to set up rocks, because I do have two things that are weak to it. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my Zeraora. And this video is going to be a bit different, like I said, but that's only because of certain reasons. certain motivational reasons. But that's beyond the point, because we're here to have a good time, and we're here to go over all the videos, you know? So we're going to get into the battle here, as Miku Nakano, aka Aaron, because that's what he calls himself in the game. Then again, I'm calling myself Rina in the game, so, hey. Oh, hey look, Aaron's raising his hand on the very corner, because this is his footage. Beyond the point, let's go into this as we arrive in the battle, as we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna lead off with our Zeraora, and we actually get it correct, because this is the Nidoqueen. This is actually a good point. This is actually a good starting point, because right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the taunt on the prediction. Even if he goes to Earth Power, he shouldn't knock me out due to the Shucka Berry that I do have, and this is just precautionary. If he goes for Stealth Rock, that's great, but if he doesn't, like he does, as you see here, I mean, it's inadequate to actually do that, because we are gonna live it, but now we are able to go for Endeavor and then Revenge Kill it. And that is a really good option for me to do, because then what I can do is Revenge Kill it, and then I don't have to deal with Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is one of the big problems, and because I went for Endeavor here, that means that it's just that much closer. Without any reliable recovery for it, without any Wishers, and without any Black Sludge or leftovers, it's a sitting duck to one of my Revenge Killers. Speaking of which, we do have it right here, in the form of Mega Beedrill. Things are looking up, and that's all we gotta do, because Mega Beedrill still is waiting for its time to shine. And I'm not sure what he was trying to go for, because it got blocked by the taunt. I don't actually, when I'm recording this, I have removed the audio from it, just so I wouldn't get distracted, if you know what I mean. Because if I have somebody else talking in my headphones, then it kind of gets distracting for well, anyway, here we're going to go ahead and go for Drill Run, because it's the best option. Both our stabs get resisted. Probably would take it out with one of them at least. Probably a U-turn or a... Probably should... I wonder if I were to U-turn instead of Drill Running here, I could have taken it out. We won't find out, because, I mean, I didn't use U-turn, and now Beedrill's kind of a sitting duck here, but you never know. You never really know. So, we're in here with our Mega Beedrill. We're trying to figure out what he's going to be bringing out, and he actually brings out the Honchkrow. And I'm thinking, well, Sucker Punch is a thing. That does make me nervous. Do I stay in and risk the Sucker Punch, in which he would take me out, or do I just switch out? I think I do want to switch. I also could U-turn. I also could U-turn, and then that would get off massive damage, and that would be great. But I'm still afraid of the Sucker Punch. As you can see, I'm just sitting there thinking about what I can do, and I just, you know, I'm too afraid of the Sucker Punch, but instead, Pursuit comes out, and we get one shot. And now is the time I'm thinking, Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill is really not the best Mega for me. I don't think it really fits the philosophy I have. Because at least with past Megas, like Mega Manectric, and I can't remember other Megas that I had. Regardless, it's just not really the best Mega I have figured out. But anyways, we bring in the not Mega, Tapu Fini here, just to calm mind on this thing. It's a big risk, but even with it at +1, unless it has a flying type move, it shouldn't really do too much. I think I have a good enough spread where I can promptly live 1, or 2, excuse me, and go on it with it that way. But here, I'm actually just going to go straight for the Moonblast. I wanted to calm mind, I wanted to set up right now, but it's still too early. The good news is, on this Moonblast, we did pick up a special attack drop, which is real huge for us, because then we can just force it out. But unfortunately, I'm actually predicting the Energy Ball or some sort of move, but instead we see Moonblast, which is fair enough. And unfortunately, it snags a crit, it snags a special attack drop, although that really doesn't make any sort of difference, because Penthesilea, aka Serena, isn't really going to be doing much. And here, I'm just looking for some heavy damage, I believe. He brings in the Entei, not a surprise. Sends in the pressure, not a surprise. But I go for Trop Kick, and I'm thinking this is great, because now Sacred Fire is not going to be doing too much. If he has Bulldoze or Stone Edge, shouldn't do too much there either. We are in a fantastic position right here, because, oh, I think he does of course he does outspeed me. It's an Entei. Entei's base speed is 100, so I can't really U-turn here, so I believe I just want to switch out. If I can do that, everything's going to be fine. I would draw, of course, and I go into Lucia, because that is the one Pokemon I believe I can set up on. But instead, he goes for Substitute. And now I'm thinking, what? What could he possibly be going for? Because I was all in, because I've been upper decked by Sacred Fire, Stone Edge, all this junk. And now we even see Protect. So now I'm thinking, what? Luckily, I did go for Calm Mind here, just because I don't think this... I honestly do not think that this Entei can really touch me. But the problem is, he's still behind a Substitute. And the mist disappears from the battlefield, so I'm thinking, I don't actually know what he wants to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Surf here, just to get rid of the Substitute. Luckily, I am faster than it, which is even more surprising, because I was not expecting that at all. So now I'm thinking, oh, especially when I see Toxic, which is the worst timing, because the one time I actually have the Pokemon that has Misty Terrain, or that can bring it up, that can prevent something like this, it disappears like the second turn it's in. So now my win condition is poisoned. It's a set up Pokemon too, so I can't just sit here Calm Minding, especially with the fact that he's protecting, which easily tells me I am going to be sitting here to get stalled. Do I really enjoy this type of thing? Not really. Should I have prepared for it? Yes. Did I expect it? No. Because how am I supposed to know that Entei can sit here and just stall me out? I do have answers for it. I do. The problem is, it's just, it all depends on when he goes for Substitute. That's the key here. But unfortunately, he's forced to switch out and go into Primarina. We're +1, so a Surf and a Moonblast probably will pick off this Primarina. Maybe not, looking at it from this range. I thought it did more. I thought it was going to do more than that, but maybe not. But especially with the Toxic racking up, do I stay in and risk the Moonblast? Yes, I do. Problem is, I'm going to be taking heavy amounts of damage from this next Toxic. As you can see here, even with the leftovers, look at this. That nearly takes me to nearly half. It's about 60. It's about 60%. So, but the problem is now here comes Mega Lopunny. But I do have an answer still for this. That is in fact, what's it called? Exactly, Arcanine. Arcanine. Let's get it, Arcanine. Come back out here, drop the Intimidate. Do you actually think Mega Lopunny is going to do stuff? Do you actually think? I mean, I do have the Rocky Helmet as well. This is one thing that I know Mega Lopunny loves to avoid. But hey, look. Look, it's another Substitute. It's another Substitute. Oh, I've never been this... Honestly, when I saw that, I'm like, I've never been this annoyed to see so many Substitutes in one session. Like, if I wanted... Like, I enjoyed seeing Substitutes in school, just because I knew it was going to be a little bit more of an interesting day, or an interesting class, depending on what grade I was in. But in this case, it's just... It just keeps going and going and going and going. It's like I'm fighting... It's like it's a rabbit here. You might as well just nickname this Energizer Bunny, because these Substitutes just keep going and going and going, and I can't pin it down. Just let me attack it. My gosh. So in this turn, at least we broke it with Flamethrower, but as far as this turn goes, I mean, honestly, I could just go for the Will-O-Wisp on the switch-in. But surprisingly, he switches into this. So which means I don't believe the Will-O-Wisp. Oh, I actually go for the Wild Charge, because I knew this thing was going to come in. It was the only thing that would have resisted this. And unfortunately, because I'm max defense, it's not max defense, max HP, pardon. It's not actually going to be doing too much damage. And the biggest issue is I kind of just gave away the fact that he can just go ahead and go for Substitute because I have Wild Charge, aka he saw how much damage it does, and since it didn't do more than 25%, he knows that my Arcanine can't break his Substitutes. So I'm forced to switch into my Tapu Fini here again. Misty Terrain's up, so whatever is in, other than Tapu Fini here, can't actually be super affected, or can't actually be toxic. So maybe, in theory, what I should have done is switch out into Stunfisk here. Stunfisk would have been a great idea, but in my head, I'm thinking, I have to break this Substitute. I have to. I absolutely have to. I can't leave this Substitute up. Because he will either Substitute again, he will go for Toxic, or he will go ahead and go for the Protect, which will stall out a turn of Misty Terrain. it actually is a brilliant idea on his part to get rid of the misty terrain. It looks like somebody just followed him at the time of this, so ignore that Twitch alert. So the substitute fades. I'm +1. He goes for Lava Plume, and that reveals his final move. But at this point, I have to be honest with you. At this point, I am quite bugged by this set. Because you know the feeling when you get stalled, right? When you're just sitting there and all you're doing is just taking poison damage, which, by the way, he protects here, and I go for Surf, but point being is I'm just trying to get rid of this thing. I'm absolutely just trying to get rid of this Entei. If I can break through this Entei, I think I'll stand a chance. I think I have the tools at my disposal to get rid of the rest of his team. The main issue here is my next Surf, or rather, if I don't switch out, I lose Tapu Fini here. And he actually brings out this thing. I'm +2, and at least something goes down the same time I go down. At least, that's what I thought. Because, unfortunately, it doesn't go down, and Tapu Fini bites the dust. My win condition was stalled out by the thing that it countered. That's a feels bad. And I'm starting to think that that set kind of screwed me up because I was faster than it. It made it so I couldn't break its substitute right off the bat. And that is definitely a problem. That was definitely unfortunate for me, but luckily I am able to pick off the Honchkrow with extreme speed, so it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it's still 3-3. There's still a chance. But we all know what Aaron's going to be bringing in here. You guessed it. It's the Entei again. Everybody's favorite. At least in this battle. I might sound a little bit salty here, but honestly, it was a good bring on his part. He knew he could stall out. If he could stall at Misty Terrain turns, he could just stall me out. And at the time, yes, I was annoyed. I have to be honest with you. But looking back here, it was a good idea. So I do give you props for that. If I said anything about the extreme speed yet, well, that's because that goes first. So it doesn't affect anything with the extreme speed. And the problem is, I know he's going to go for the Toxic on this next turn because Misty Terrain's gone. In fact, I think I've been using Misty Terrain as a de facto heal bell this entire season. So statuses are definitely in the question when it comes to my teams. Because I know a Toxic is coming. I know it is. And I can't just stay in on this. But I'm thinking at this moment, do I go into Stunfisk right now? Do I go into Stunfisk right now? Or do I take a Toxic on Serena? I can't take a Toxic on either of these Pokemon. But in the end, I decided to do it on Arcanine, because at least Arcanine is more of a switch Pokemon. A switch defensive. Because I know, like, at this point I'm just trying to break it. But look at this. It doesn't even break it. It still doesn't even break it. So I'm thinking, I lost my counter for this to this Pokemon. How did I let that happen? Well, simple things. You got tilted at the fact that you were getting stalled out. You didn't think straight, which you could have gone into Stunfisk while the Misty Terrain's up, so you can't actually get that. But, long story short, getting stalled out right now. Long story short, we're getting stalled out by this Entei, and there's nothing really I can do about it. Like, if you look at the options, I could stay in with Arcanine and be walled by it. I can go into Serena and also be walled by it. Or I can go into Stunfisk. Something I was saving for Magearna, because that was our best bet. I mean, even if it did have Ice Beam, it would still have done a chunk of damage. I don't know how much it would have done. I think we could have lived one, because it's not a stab of Ice Beam, so. But in this case, I'm forced to go into this now, and I know I'm going to get Toxic. I absolutely know I'm going to get Toxic, which is really unfortunate. It really sucks, because now I have to break it. I have to use Stunfisk just to break the substitute, and I had to run the risk of getting Toxic to do so. I got Toxic, and now we're in this position. Both walls are Toxic. That's not. No, it's just, I can't actually run into this issue because there's nothing we can do. absolutely nothing we can do. And pretty much for the rest of the battle, I get stalled out by this Entei. I don't even get to see the demon Magearna, just to give it one last send-off for Sword and Shield. So, I'm going to speed up the rest of the battle even further, because at this point, well, once Entei comes back in, I will, because here I just go for Earth Power. I don't actually take it out, but I'm forced to switch out. And I said I would speed it up, but like I said, I'll speed it up once the Entei comes back in, because at this point I'm thinking, I can't break through this Entei. Entei won't stay in. And when I look at Mega Lopunny, I'm thinking, I have to go into Arcanine. Arcanine is the only switch in I can make here, especially with the fact that he still gets away with setting up a substitute because he had more than 25 HP. There's a lot of different things that I could have done in this battle, so I wouldn't have been in this situation, but tilt is a thing. Being tilted is a thing. And I wonder if that actually was a misclick on his part, going for the second substitute, because maybe he was going for, thought I would E-speed. That's right. Maybe, I didn't see his side yet. I could have, but I'm running out of time, so I'm just going off what the footage is. So he's forced to switch out here, back into Entei. Now the problem here is that, once again, we are going to have to be stalled out again. And I'm thinking, you know what? He's just gonna go for Protect, right? He's gonna go for Protect. How do I go into my Stun Fist without getting Lava Plume? Well, simple. We do that. He goes for Substitute. I'm thinking, oh, that's right. He has Substitute. I thought he was gonna go for Protect. Then, now my process is he's going to go for Toxic or Lava Plume, but most likely Toxic. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring in Stun Fist. The idea was, how do I bring in Stun Fist without him going for Lava Plume or Toxic? But instead, he's just going to go for Protect, see what I'm going to do here, get some leftovers back. But at this point, it's just all about stall. And there is one point where he does switch back in Mega Lopunny, but as far as the rest of the battle goes, it's just all stall, so I will save you the time. We do end up losing 2-0. For some reason, it gets ranked 2-2 because I end up running because I don't have time for that. Time to get stalled, and if I knew that was the case, I wouldn't have ran. But long story short, good game. You prepped well for my team. That's all I can say. Getting stalled out sucks, but hey, what can you say? I should have prepped for it, but that's going to end it. We lose.
Faster than I expected. That was quite a show. They've been rather busy these last few months, including their frequent forays into the tower. Their fighting style is positively fascinating. And it seems they've gained new recruits, too. Well, Jin? Are they our enemy?
Why don't we ask our buddy? We'll be seeing him soon.
Yes, that's an excellent idea. Considering that he shares our fate, it would be prudent to seek his opinion. We don't have much time left.